Hey everyone and welcome to a new video here on my channel. Today I want to talk about the rise of Lethal Company and what the game makes so successful. So when you're currently also building your own game, I want to show you today what you can learn from the game to also lead your project to success. But let's start with the hype of Lethal Company, because this game is absolutely everywhere. And it not only exploded on the Twitch landscape, but pretty much has become a worldwide phenomenon. Absolutely everyone hopping onto this game right now to see if the hype is truly real. And yeah, today we will answer the question, where the hell did this game come from? How is this game made by one person and nearly become the most played game on Steam? So let's grab your flashlight, turn on your radios and hop into the rise of Lethal Company. Lethal Company got released in October 2023, and from there had a $10 co-op horror game, unexpectedly outselling major titles like the latest Call of Duty. And according to VG Insights, the game has already sold 5.4 million copies, reaching over 20,000 active players and gaining a massive online traction, generating the solo developer of the game millions in sales. And this again showed me that indie games are becoming more and more popular. So if you are always wanted to build your game but didn't made huge progress there, now is perfect time to really kickstart your project and make something special there. But let's dive into the factors that contributed to its unprecedented success and analyze what developers can learn from that. One point clearly is the low price of only $10. This caused that it's accessible for a huge amount of players globally, so they can give it a try easily. And where I first saw videos of the game, I didn't want to try the game out myself because of the graphics and some other stuff, but I also had friends who played the game and mentioned that it's like funny and I should try it out. And then I also decided to just buy this game because it's only $10. Another thing is the social connection I also mentioned before. So the co-op aspect fosters a sense of community, making it enjoyable for groups of friends, and especially the spatial audio voice chat really makes the game even more scary or creepy, but also funny at the same time, which is a really cool feature there basically. Another point is the satisfying gameplay loop. The game's engaging loop of choosing a moon, collecting scrap, surviving and meeting quotas ensures a constant excitement. And when you're near a quota but don't have enough scrap, basically you can then sell, then you need to think about ways to get more scrap in the next dungeon, which means you may most likely need to stay longer in the dungeon filled up with monsters who chase you. So this all is really fun to play and also easy to understand for new players, but we come to that point in a second. The next thing is the random or the procedural generation of the dungeons I already mentioned, because every facility is like randomized and keep each playthrough fresh and contributing to a high replayability. And like this, every round feels different when you enter the building, because you never know which enemies you will meet and where loot is hidden. But also the game has great accessibility, which means that the game is also easy to understand for new gamers, but also challenging enough for veterans, making it inclusive to a wide audience basically. So having a simple game loop is important, that everyone easily understand it, like while maybe watching videos and stuff like that of the game. But at the same time, you also should give players some more advanced tools or mechanics and other stuff they can discover and master to get better and better in the game over time. And like in Lethal Company, every boss have like weaknesses, so you can study how to handle them better later, and you can also have different equipments with you where you can choose from, like the flashlights, the walkie-talkies and so much more. But what developers can now learn from this game? One lesson for all is that Lethal Company proves again that success doesn't always require a massive budget or extensive teams. Often it's enough when you have a team of 2 or 3 specialists at a specific area, which means that you maybe have a developer writing the code and ensures that all the gameplay mechanics are working fine and are optimized and all that stuff. You maybe also have a level designer to create stunning visuals and levels which make fun to play. And maybe also like a 3D artist, or you outsource stuff like that from the Unreal Engine marketplace or with other freelancers. So you don't need many people, but it makes sense to have really specialists in one area to help you with your game. But we will also talk later about this point. Another point is passion-driven development. That's something I noticed over the last years, and also Seekerus, the 21-year-old developer who also created Lethal Company, showed this again, that it's more important to build the games out of a passion and not only for or not solely for financial gain. And I guess that is also what people looking for. They want to play fun games where you really see that they are made with love and soul, and they don't want to play the next unfinished buggy AAA title who only hooked them for the next like 2 or 3 hours. So in the coming years, my prediction is that indie games will really gain track and become more and more popular, and yeah, that's something you can be a part of basically. I guess it's also important to celebrating those indie successes basically, because those successes encourage more developers to create games driven by passion and innovative ideas, but more other developers starting their own game as well. So it's also a little bit of a competition for you, which also means that you need to not only have a good idea, but also a reliable team on your side to build the project in the most efficient way, so you have an advantage there, because you can't afford to start the game yourself alone without experience in the industry. You maybe will make mistakes, or also with the development, then maybe need to restart the development again, and all this will cost you a lot of time and money, which is not needed. Sometimes it will be better for you to just have a mentor on your side giving you feedback, or also a developer assisting with gameplay mechanics, because when you do stuff like this yourself for the first time and you are learning it currently, it will be most likely buggy and also not optimized, which will be frustrating for players, so your game maybe don't get that successful with that. But I guess from what I told you now, it's clear that the market is ready for your indie game projects, but also with tools like Unreal Engine, which are free and easily accessible, and also learning material, which is everywhere, it got easier to start in this industry than ever before. So even when you always wanted to create a game, but never thought it would be possible or whatever, then I really want to encourage you to take a look at Unreal Engine and all the tools we have out there to easily create games, and also about all the frameworks we built up over the time, but also which you can find in the Unreal Engine marketplace. It become really easier than ever before to build your first own games and projects, and that's really something where I want to encourage you to check that out. But even with all the developers we have out there, many unfortunately fail really releasing their first own game. But why is that so? I guess during the development process you need to constantly work on the project over a longer duration of time. And it's not only you who would need to really focus on the game, it's also about all the freelancers, developers and all that stuff you onboarded to the project. Many freelancers are unreliable. Maybe you also work together with students who maybe have exams, or then can't work so much on the games, on your game during those phases. So yeah, that's really important to find the right people who work with you on the project over a longer duration of time in a consistent and frequently basis basically. But also I noticed that for many people it's hard to overcome those disappointments which they made in the past with those unreliable freelancers, and then give new developers the trust basically to really kickstart the project. And that's something I can really understand, because with the cooperation of the random freelancers they had before, which didn't went good, they burned already a lot of money and also time, which can be really frustrating. And so this, many people give up before they meet actual reliable freelancers who work on the project over a longer duration of time. So it always makes more sense to look, I would say, for a small studio like ours, for example, which already have frameworks built in place to quickly build your first prototypes of your own game, so you can easily and directly start the marketing. And we also have processes in place to lead your game to success with this marketing and all that stuff. Because also many of our customers, for example, work together with unreliable random freelancers before our cooperation and got burned a lot of time and money, which can be really frustrating. So overcoming those frustrations and learn from the mistakes you made before is key to really build your game successfully. And it's also about learning from others' mistakes. So from my point of view, it makes the most sense to really work together with the small studios like ours, for example, together when you build your first own game, because we, for example, have a team in place with developers, level designers, but also 3D artists, and basically everything you need to like build your first own game. And like we are a team working over years now together, so everyone knows exactly how the other people are working. We have a smooth workflow and processes basically integrated, so that we can easily and quickly also like build your own game and lead it to success. And also over the time we build our frameworks to quickly really finish the first prototype, so you can start with the marketing very soon to directly get your return of investment. So we have processes in place to lead your game to success, since we saw and solved most of the roadblocks people will notice when they really build or plan to publish their first own games. So if you're looking for a reliable partner, let me know it, and in the description, also here in the video, you can find my email now, so you can easily contact me there if you have any questions regarding your project. Or you can also book a free strategy session with me, which is just a meeting where I can learn more about your project, can give you some tips and feedback, and can also work out a roadmap for you how you can build your game in the most efficient way, so we can lead it to success together. But now I also want to give you a few last tips or strategies which will help you on your journey. From this example, we now saw that budget is not everything. Games don't need to cost millions of dollars or something like that. You can even with small budgets often like work together with smaller studios who assist you building the game. Even with budgets between 7 and 10k, there are a lot of possibilities to build you out your MVP or a demo of your game, to like show it to your community or build up a new community from scratch basically, to get the first money back quickly with strategies like crowdfunding and more. And also another thing is the community engagement. It's so important to build up a community around your game through social media marketing and maybe also multiplayer aspects in your games. They get shared with more and more people until almost everyone play the game, and then it will be like in the story I told you, like how I got to play Leave the Company basically, that you have friends ask you to buy the game. Another very important thing is the right launch strategy. Building the game is where unfortunately most of the people already fail with, but no worries, that's where we actually like also help with our studio, because we already have to build up the frameworks to easily build up your MVPs and stuff like that, to test the demo if there's a market for it. And another thing many people don't pay attention to is like a nice launch strategy, marketing around the game in general, and stuff like this is very, very important. Luckily, we also developed some frameworks or processes internally, which we also share with our customers to make their game launches more successful, because in my experience, it's very important to build up a community on YouTube with devlogs of your game, but also sharing updates in general on social media, so people can follow the game creation process and can be a part of it, and can also maybe share some ideas with you as well, which you later maybe implement in the game. Stuff like this will help you build up a community, which will also buy the game later once it will get released. And stuff like this is very important to do directly where you develop, because when you start with the marketing after you build the game, then you just have a huge delay there, or you have a huge timeline where you just spend money in the game and you never know if the game will get accepted by the market and all that stuff. So that's why we're focusing on building a first MVP, a demo of the game, bringing this out to to a community which we will build up, and then you see if the game is getting accepted from the market, if the people like it, and if yes, they will also support you with crowdfunding and all that stuff, where you can then financialize the rest of the development with later. So that is our strategy in a nutshell basically. If you want to learn more about that, then as I mentioned, feel free to book a free strategy session over the link in the description. where we really analyze your game and can also present you different strategies for free, how you can go to market with your game, how you can build your game and all that stuff. I'm looking forward hearing from you, and yeah, that's it for the video. Also let me know in the comments if you're currently also already working on your first own game, or if you now want to start with your first own game. I hope you enjoyed the video, but that's it for now. Have a nice rest of your day and take care. Bye.